The MLB is absolutely terrified of this. The man, the myth, the legend himself, Jackson Merrill, more like Baxon Merrill. Let's talk about all the impact that this man coming back to play center field for the San Diego Padres is going to have for the near, the mid, and the long-term future of the San Diego Padres. Because, let's remember, this guy got locked up to a big-time long-term deal. He is our franchise center fielder. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Padres Digest. I'm Christian Pedersen, your host. This is the part of the show where I interrupt real quick just to say, can you do the obligatory YouTube thing of hit the subscribe button? It would be much appreciated. All right, let's talk about it. Jackson Merrill, like I said, more like Baxon Merrill. I feel kind of sort of sad, trombone, wah, on making a video yesterday, as of us recording this, or a couple days ago, as of whenever you were watching this, talking about how excited I was to have Luis Campusano back and have him getting a chance. He's kind of a fan favorite, vibes, good feely type of dude, and he's gone. An 0 for 5, tried to be a Tatis and steal home, did not go well. Okay, we'll get Campy back, but I digress, because ultimately, Major League Baseball is terrified of having our center fielder back, because you see it on some of the punditry around the country right now, that there's starting to be the John Boy medias and the ESPNs, and the people are starting to say, hey, the Padres are kind of actually good. The Padres are actually kind of good. And that has all been on us going 15-9 without Merrill in the lineup. Show you what the numbers look like for Jackson Merrill prior to him departing. 40 at-bats obviously is not the hugest of sample size, but I've said this before along the process of him returning, as that this is not, though, a nothing burger. He's hitting the ball really, really well this year. How well is he going to hit the ball when he comes back? That's always a question. That's always an issue. There's some this, that, or the other. As of us recording, he is already back in the lineup today on his first assignment with the Major League team, and his first at-bat is a double down the line in Yankee Stadium. He ends up coming around to score, and I think that you can take away a lot of things from just that one at-bat / the fact that he is playing center field and not DHing for the day. There was some questions with the hamstring, because he's obviously from a 10-day IL to missing 24 games. They have slow-walked, pun intended, because of it being a hamstring, but they've slow-walked his recovery, and they've brought him back of the mindset that we need him now, but we also need him between now and in October, and also we need him between now and 2035 when his contract comes up for renegotiation, if, heavens allow, the earth is still standing. But when he came back into the lineup, I, along with a lot of you in the comment section, was curious. Is he going to be DHing for a day or two? Is he quite at 100%, or is he just able now to hit and do what are we going to get? Well, in the first, so far the game is not even done, but as of him stepping back onto the field, he has stepped back into center field, and he is hitting third in the lineup, knocking doubles around, coming in to score. So to me, that checks all the explosive, quick twitch muscle things that you want to say about his basic core health. The basic of him being healthy and active and back in the lineup, though, when you look at the broader scheme of things, that the Padres got to where they are after, I think that Detroit and Tampa might be us bottoming out for the entire season, which would be fantastic to bottom out this early, play our best ball at the end of the year. But we've done it really largely with, up until about 2 or 3 games ago, Manny Machado hadn't kicked in his manniness. Fernando obviously having himself an MVP caliber season, but some of the excitement around Shildt dialed back, as he's good, but he's not elite. Like he came down to earth a little bit. There have been some moments where we've sort of thought that Xander was going to peak, but he's not. He's kickstart. He's a diesel engine slowly revving up. Arraez misses some. There was a bad 20 games there, and to go 15-9 when everybody thought that bottoming out was going to be 0-24, maybe hyperbolic, but the pitching wasn't getting the run support they needed. The errors, the defensive, none of it looked exactly like the Padres. And I think you can make you can make 2 or 3 arguments about the guys who are the centerpieces. And obviously Tatis is a centerpiece of anything because he does it all. He hits, he throws, and whatever. But I think that Jackson Merrill is low-key kind of the centerpiece of everything else, because we've seen the domino effect of when there's one outfielder that goes down and then it's Lockridge and this guy moves here and this guy, you wind up with a Connor Joe, a Jason Hayward, a guy going hitless, being just a net entire negative. So bringing Jackson Merrill back, maybe he doesn't hit, 400 or 386 or something like that all season long. But if these numbers are what you are adding back into center field and then allowing a platoon situation of Lockridge, Hayward, and if they bring up Terso or whoever, you can just let the Padres focus on figuring out who's the left fielder and then figuring out who's the backup. And then you can see where I'm going. Like, one domino here knocks down a bunch of other dominoes in terms of Padres preparedness to be an elite team. And then when you zoom even further out, the pitching staff the bullpen is nasty, and we've got videos on all of these other different little parts going on. So go check out everything. That's why I say hit the subscribe button. More than I can fit to you in an 8 to 10-ish minute video. We do a bunch of these deep dives. Got a lot of other context for you. But you start knocking down those dominoes of the Padres can now focus on finding a left fielder. The Padres now have depth for a backup DH. The Padres have a guy that they can run. The guys that can be a late inning defensive substitute. There's all these other things that, combined with the emergence of King and Pivetta as a great 1-2, allowing Cease to be the 3, and then Kolek and 4. Like, the pitching staff is figuring out. The bullpen is all figured out. Like, ultimately, he might be the linchpin that brings it all back together and really kicks this up into a notch where we stop going, Padres just got to get to the playoffs and got to figure out how to win a series here or there, to being like, hey, we're in this NL West fight, and we might be the team that's like either the sneaky good or the one that's even low-key in control if we can make some moves and add a piece or two. Like, I think it cannot be understated how big of an impact Jackson Merrill will have going forward on the Padres directly, but also indirectly in those ripples of, just like I said, the rest of Major League Baseball is going to feel it when they start looking back up and realize, okay, the Padres went through their little skid and now they are getting healthy and they're getting dialed in and they are getting in. So that's why I think Major League Baseball is terrified now that Jackson Merrill is back and centerpiece, front and center in Yankee Stadium tonight, making the big moments. But in just all of the Padres aura and glow, we got our boy back, and I think that has everybody kind of shaking, kind of quaking. Dodgers fans won't admit it, but I know it's out there. Let me know, though, what you think. Is Jackson Merrill the piece? Is he just one of the pieces, or do you think we should trade him? Always something fun to see in the comments section. Like I said, drop that, and if you could hit a subscribe on the way out, it would be much appreciated. We got a bunch of Padres content coming to you all season long. We'll talk to you guys soon.